join Des Clark and his panel of pals now on BBC Scotland. So much news to be broken. So little time.
Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. With me, as always, are four cracking panellists. On my right, we have Ray Bradshaw and Tiff Stevenson, and facing them are Marjolaine Robertson and Robin Ince. In the news this week, Health Secretary Wes Streeting has confirmed that Labour's smoking ban will not apply to pub gardens and outdoor hospitality. Smokers have responded to the news with a huge wheeze of relief. Boris Johnson was fired for banging on about his book during a guest appearance in Channel 4's coverage of the US election, according to the programme's co-host Krishnan Guru Murthy. Critics say Boris's memoir is the perfect coffee table book, but only if one of the legs is shorter than the other three. And a very rare slice of wedding cake from the marriage of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip has been sold at auction for £2,200. The ancient fruitcake laced with alcohol was, in the end, married to Her Majesty for 70. Right, you've met our panel. Let's get going and crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Ray and Tiff, can you tell me what this is all about?
Kemi Badenoch has
declared victory in the US presidential election.
She defeated
Kamala Harris. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, expressed shock at the results so far.
In a short speech after the result was revealed, she
promised a new golden age for America.
Wonder what our first story might be. Tiff?
Is it the presidential election?
Yes, it is a story that everyone is talking about this week as Donald Trump made the comeback of all comebacks to win a historic second term in office. In what was expected to be a close race, Trump defeated opponent Kamala Harris with a larger victory than polls had suggested. At a victory speech in Florida, he said he'd been given an unprecedented and powerful mandate by the American public. Here, Scotland's First Minister John Swinney has congratulated Donald Trump on his victory in the US presidential election. Swinney commented that they all said it couldn't be done, but the comeback kid is in the big chair once again. But enough about me. Well done to old Trump as well. Ray, I'll bring you in at this point. What do you make of it then? As we've mentioned, the result was more decisive than was predicted. What's your take on the result, Ray?
I genuinely didn't see it coming, but I think it's because I live in an echo chamber where everyone was telling me Kamala was going to win. Do you know the saddest part for me is seeing Donald Trump and Elon Musk happy? Like, together at the same time. It's just not enjoyable.
Didn't sit well for you, no?
No, I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating. And it's funny, the paper's all saying Trump's American when he wins and Scottish when he loses. Like, that's how it works. So, it's political Andy Murray. That's all it is.
Musk kept pushing it, kind of going, if you want to go to Mars, you know, you've got to vote for Donald if we're going to go to Mars. And he keeps suggesting this as a solution to humanity's problems. And look, men, you can go. You can go to Mars. According to the Holy Scripture, it's where you're from. But women, we're not. I'll tell you why women are not going to Mars. Mars has 3 moons.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That is 3 periods a month. Yeah. Men, you do not want us there.
If you just wait, I'm still watching some of the male audience members get that joke. So
that is a big blue wave. Yeah.
You don't want us. You won't survive. They don't call it the Red Planet for nothing. We're not going.
I feel.
Robin, and so I'll bring you in.
Because I do a science show with Brian Cox, he will be annoyed if I do. Of course, menstruation is caused by the moons, where it pulls out all the badness from the lady that is known as the devil's curse. Right, so... So I
Science. That is science.
That's the thing that I'm most... Well, no, it's not. There's such a list of things I'm angry about with this election. I'm going to pretend I'm kind of jolly about the rise of fascism, you know, but it's like living in the worst, darkest episode of A Lower Low. But it's... But this is what angers me most is I have loved the idea of space exploration since I was a child. I've met astronauts and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And now the kind of people that are into space exploration are utter dicks, right?
Marlene, what do you think then? The US election results are in. What's your take on them?
I think it's grim, and we can all agree it's grim, but I'll try and find the silver lining for everyone here. And the silver lining is quite clear to me that we have 4 more years of Des doing impressions of Donald Trump.
Thank you very much.
Please, can I make some requests?
It's been a great time for me personally.
Can I please request?
Thank you, Margalian. Her name's sort of alien. It is alien.
How would you ask to find a boogie board in the middle of Lidl?
A boogie board in the middle of Lidl?
How would you say Mary Elaine's the prettiest girl of them all?
Margalian. Mar illegal alien. Is the prettiest of them all.
That's horrible.
And that's all we've got time for this week. Ray, what about you? Everyone calling this a shocking result, certainly the scale of it. When was the last time that you shocked someone?
I had a throwaway joke in a Fringe show years ago where I used to say, like, Airdrie was Scotland's Miami. And I can't really remember the joke, but then I remember at the end of the Fringe one year, an American couple sent me a picture from Drumgellic train station, like, raging. And I was like, I think I've won this. So maybe that.
Though many didn't rate his chances, it turned out that Trump had something up his sleeve, a tiny wee hand. Right, it's over to you, Robin and Marjolaine. What was the other story we were after?
Kemi Badenoch has
declared victory in the US presidential election.
She defeated
Kamala Harris. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, expressed shock at the results so far.
In a short speech after the result was revealed, she
Promised a new golden age for America.
Yes, it's more bad news, isn't it? So it's Kemi Badenoch. She's now the leader of the Conservative Party.
I'll take that, Robin. That is the right answer. Bang on. Kemi Badenoch has indeed been announced as the new leader of the Conservative Party. She beat rival Robert Jenrick to the post, and on day 4 of her new role, she had her first PMQs with Sir Keir Starmer. Kemi Badenoch recently claimed that she became working class when she got a job at McDonald's. It's not the first time this has happened. Sir Keir Starmer became working class when he decided he wanted to run the country.
At least Jonathan Gullis isn't there anymore. You know that. Oh God, he'd be there. Why won't anyone employ me now? Because you spent 5 years insulting us and saying we were all rubbish. It's still so unfair. That's what they all are. That's the one change. At least it's not going to be another whining man. I can't believe it. There's a slight change in the taxes now, and I can't claim back any of my expenses of donkeys that I own.
Marjolaine, what about
That's
you?
called the Eeyore exemption.
Ray, what are you thinking then? The shadow cabinet that Kemi Badenoch has appointed, any of those appointments standing out for you?
Not really. She's got 121 MPs. Some of them have been disasters. She's essentially like, you know when you go around the supermarket looking for the yellow stickers? Like, that's what she's having to do right now. It's like, no, that one's a bit bashed.
Well, the party of damaged goods. As leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch gets to ask the Prime Minister questions every week. But what question would you ask Sir Keir Starmer if you could? Robin?
Oh, that is... Do you know what it might actually be about? I've mentioned donkeys already, but I know that he bought a large field for his mother's donkeys, and I'd just like to know how big was the field and how were the donkeys, because I like donkeys, because I think whatever he says, he's not going to enlighten me politically or suggest any great deal of change in the country or, you know, where we're in the UK. So I wouldn't waste my time with politics. I just want to know how the donkeys were going. You know?
Oh, you were happy with that?
Yeah.
Can I ask, because I grew up on a sheep farm, but what is the purpose of a donkey?
Oh, you don't know about the purpose of donkey?
What does it produce?
Well, I can't believe... To carry our Lord.
Excuse me.
Yes, well done. Of course, we were looking for the answer. That is Kemi Badenoch, the new leader of the Conservative Party. Kemi Badenoch is the Conservative Party's 6th leader since 2010 and says that she is already looking forward to her first vote of no confidence. And at the end of that round, well done. The teams are all square. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to two friends of the show, former MP and writer Mhairi Black and comedian and star of Two Doors Down, Kieran Hodgson. So what do you think Kieran is talking about here?
Given this is in the Borders, I really hope that alongside all the flumes and bike hire and archery, there's also going to be a healthy amount of Walter Scott reenactment in the evenings. Pizza and Peveril of the Peak, please.
This is the new Centre Parks that they want to open in the Borders, which will be the first one in Scotland.
That is the right answer. Well done, Marie-Elaine. Yes, this week, Holiday Village operator Centre Parks unveiled plans for its first ever site in Scotland. The new resort has been proposed for Hawick in the Borders and could create up to 1,200 jobs in the area. Of course, if you can't afford to visit Centre Parks, you can always recreate it in your own hometown by taking your kids to the local swimming pool, getting a hot dog, and then burning $3,000.
I'm presuming it's like for people who go, I'd rather like to go to Scotland, but I wouldn't like to think of the Scottish actually being there. So I thought it'd be, if there can be a kind of fence around it. So it's like being in Scotland, but not too Scottish with all the Scotty people there.
What could they do to make the park uniquely Scottish? Any ideas, Marie-Elaine?
I think it's uniquely Scottish already. Is there anything more Scottish than our countryside being taken up by holiday homes for the English?
I would just very slowly be every now and again, and it would always be late at night. There'd just be some people taking some wicker up a hill. Bit by bit, you know? What's he building up there?
Ray, what are you thinking? So obviously they're pitching this park for Scotland. What could they do to make the park uniquely Scottish?
Temporary traffic lights. It feels like they're everywhere in Scotland right now, by the way. Like, no matter where you go. That and just only call it diluting juice, so the English go thirsty looking for squash. Like, just little things like that.
We're, of course, referring to the proposal for a Scottish Centre Parks in Hawick. Proposals are said to be at an early stage with a planning application for about 700 lodges. And if you can't wait until the park opens but still want to visit a popular lodge in Scotland, you must try Lark Hall. Right, so over to you, Ray and Tiff. It's your turn. What do you think Mhairi is talking about here?
I have been called this many times as a child when I was misbehaving, and I've also been called it many times by adults, except the interesting thing is that now it's considered a compliment.
It's that brat has been named Word of the Year.
Brilliant. That is a great shout. Well done on that answer. Yes, this is the news that brat has been crowned Collins Dictionary Word of the Year. Raw dogging, yapping and delulu were also amongst this year's trending words, with many popularised by their use on social media sites like TikTok. Yes, one of the other top words was raw dogging, which refers to spending a long period of time sitting in uncomfortable silence without food, drink or the toilet. Or as it's also known, a train journey with ScotRail. Tiff Stevenson, what about you? Would you say that you've ever been described as brat?
So I looked up the contemporary meaning of brat, and it says a lifestyle characterised by confidence, independence and a hedonistic attitude, also going against the clean girl aesthetic. So confident, independent, hedonistic, unwashed. This person sounds like a nightmare. I do not want to be around them. Is Boris Johnson brat? That's what I'm asking. Maybe that's how he gets his hair to look like, you know, like that. You know when you see him mess it up on purpose before he goes on camera to tell lies? Yeah. I call that mopaganda.
Now that should be Word of the Year.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm into that.
Someone told me, totally straight face and really believes it, that the whole thing about Boris Johnson's hair is he has someone who goes around with him who has a balloon. Have you heard this story, right? And then he rubs... This is... No, but I was told it in such a straight... And this person really believes... And what a beautiful thing that is, of just that the hair is going... Hang on. Oh, no, I'm about to go on now. Hang on a minute, I'll just rub the balloon. Oh, no, that one's hot, right?
I just had some breaking news in my ear. The balloon that went about with Boris Johnson was actually called Michael Gove. What's your favourite word and why? Ray?
I like the versatility of tanned. Like windows, Bucky, skin, everything. Versatile word.
Oh, I love that. Marilyn, what's your favourite word and why?
We have this toast in Shetland called a Skål de Hinderquaff. That's my heritage. That I know of only beginning in the 60s. My dad and his pals were drinking Sandy Bells, and these men were like, you must have a Shetland toast, you must have a Shetland toast. My dad's pals were like, yeah, Skål de Hinderquaff. And since then, I've heard it in pubs. And also, the whiskey tour has it as an official toast because I maybe lied to them. Yeah, Skål de Hinderquaff, drink the last drop.
We're talking about brat being the word of the year, but go on then, you can do better than that. What's your favourite word and why?
Well, do you know what? I'm going to pick a Yiddish word, which is mensch. I love mensch. I think there's a real beauty because it almost sounds like an insult initially. He's such a mensch, she's such a mensch. But it means someone who's just a really decent kind of person. And I love that. The first time I heard it was Greg Proops called me a mensch. And it was just a real... And I think we need more mensches.
Mensch is good unless they're a disappointment.
You've got that from the Mensch Only magazine. I saw that.
Well done for getting the right answer. Brat is the word of the year after being popularised by the singer Charlie XCX. Brat is now seen by many as a positive word rather than negative, as are others like sick, wicked and convicted felon. Well done, Brat. Topping the word of the year list is the correct answer. 2 points go to Ray and Tiff. This is Breaking the News on BBC Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Ray and Tiff, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I realised in my career, as I got older and older, the most important races to me were the ones that I did at home crowd support, and just in front of friends and family, people that can come and watch it.
I think it's Mark Foster. Is it talking about swimming?
That is correct, Tiffany. Former Olympic swimmer Mark Foster has this week said that he would encourage more people to get into swimming as a way of escaping modern life. Foster is supporting children in need, the 1,000-mile challenge, which involves teams from BBC radio stations, including our very own team here at BBC Radio Scotland, swimming to raise money for the charity. Yes, former Olympic swimmer Mark Foster told BBC Essex, swimming is a great escape from our fast-moving world because it's just you and the water. Clearly, Mark has never been to the time capsule on a Saturday morning. What about you, Ray? Can you see the appeal?
Yeah, I used to swim a lot as a kid. The best swim I ever did was about 9 months before I was born. That was pretty good. But
you beat literally all the other swimmers.
Yeah. It's my only ever win. He's saying it's swimming so relaxing, but my son's 5. I don't know if you've ever taken a toddler swimming. The 15 minutes in the change room after they finish is the worst 15 minutes of your life. The sweat, the heat, the cold, horrific. So, yeah, Mark Foster's maybe... I guess in the Olympics you don't take your kid with you, so it's a bit different, isn't it?
Well, actually, when you mention your 5-year-old, that is the thing that I always used to... When I would take my son to swimming lessons, and you must have had that thing, where you're just a lone man watching children, and you keep going, look up and wave at me, look up and wave at me. That is my son.
What do you think about that then, Marilyn? Do you agree? Can you see the appeal of swimming?
I swim to relax at home in Shetland, and I swim in the sea. But now it's come quite this big trend where people call it wild swimming, and I call it my annual bath.
Good. What do you do to switch off? Tiff, what do you do?
Oh, I play rubbish games on my phone. I think it's called Fruit Squash. and you've got to stack various. It's like Tetris, but with fruit.
Oh.
It's one of my 5 a day technically. And you just have to stack and once you get the fruits increase in size, it's very addictive. And it starts with little gooseberries and it works its way up to watermelon and dragon fruit. And I can tell everyone is fascinated by this.
I think what's happened here is that you've called it fruit squash. Here we call it diluting juice. Former Olympic swimmer Mark Foster was a 6-time world champion and over the course of his career took home 2 Commonwealth Games gold medals, 11 European titles and 6 Verucas. Right, it's over to you, Robin and Marjolaine. It's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
The food here is wonderful. The people here are great. And I think that there's so much history here and so much natural beauty here that if you let something like I have to wear a sweater dissuade you from coming to Scotland, you're missing a lot.
That's the man from Man vs. Food who came and did a bizarre eating challenge in Glasgow, which is any night out in Glasgow.
And all of that is the right answer. Yes, Man vs. Food star Adam Richman has been in Glasgow this week filming for his new TV series. The American foodie hit the headlines as he documented his first ever trip to Wetherspoons, with fans sending food and drink for him to sample using the company's app. Adam Richman says that he's eaten all sorts of weird and wonderful meals during his travels across the world, but said Scotland is still the only place where a meal can come with a side salad of crisps. He's right. He is right. Ray, I don't know if you've seen this. Man vs. Food star Adam Richman. He's come to Glasgow this past week trying out our delicacies here. Do you think this is Adam's biggest culinary challenge?
No, he's absolutely at it. He's eating some Wetherspoons food. He's drank a Venom. It's just a Tuesday. That's what it is. He's also... Scotland has so many amazing restaurants, Michelin star restaurants, and he's picked a Wetherspoons in Glasgow City Centre that I once saw a man actively try dry his hands under the condom machine for 2 minutes. So... no, I don't think it's a big challenge, Des. No, I don't.
Tiff, do you think this is Adam's biggest culinary challenge?
Adam's biggest culinary challenge? No, that was taking a rib, one of his own, handing it to our Lord and Saviour to make Eve. So... It's like you people don't care about the Bible at all.
Well, obviously, Adam Richman has been out and about. Welcome to Scotland, trying various Scottish delicacies. But what other Scottish delicacies should he be trying? Marjolaine, what should Adam be trying?
Well, we have a lovely dish in Shetland called a Reested Mutton Tatty soup.
No, you don't. You've made that up.
Robin, stop. You'll get yourself in trouble. This one's real. This one's real. So it's essentially a vegetable soup, but the stock is a shoulder of mutton that's been salted and smoked. And we always make it at home. We always have it at Christmas time and New Year. But one time, Dad had made the soup, and we have our own mutton, as I said. So he'd salted and smoked our own mutton. But the thing was, one year, we're eating it. You eat it for Hogmanay, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, until the cauldron is empty, right? It was January the 3rd, and everyone had really sore bellies, which isn't unusual for the 1st, but it is by the 3rd. And my dad was like, oh, we maybe have had a bit of salt burn. And I was like, why is that, Dad? He's like, I maybe salted the lamb too long. And I was like, well, how long had you meant to salt it? And he was like, 5 days. And I said, well, how long did you salt it? And he went, October, November. To be honest, it's the tastiest soup we ever had, but we were all very ill.
So Adam Richman, eat that thing. During his food test at Wetherspoons, Adam was presented with something he described as having an interesting aroma with a sticky texture. It was the carpets. Yes, of course, extreme foodie Adam Richman is the right answer. 2 points go to Robin and Marjolaine. And it's time now for our final quick-fire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
I mean, this could have been an absolute disaster, couldn't it?
There you go. That's Strictly star Chris McCausland there with his take on the Tory leadership race. Right, fingers on the buzzers, and here we go. 63% of us say what is too expensive. Ray.
The free tickets to this recording.
63% of us say what is too expensive. Tiff.
A cameo from Des doing a Trump impression.
Oh.
I don't know what you mean. Donald J. Trump, the J is for genius.
4 more years, yeah, dancer. 63% of us say what is too expensive.
Ferrero Rocher, because they're not nearly as luxurious as you imagine. They're not, are they? They're quite plain.
They're very fancy.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a gold
You'll do
wrapper.
anything to get in with the ambassador, won't you?
None of this is the right answer. The answer was food related, but it was more specific than that. 63% of us say cooking our favourite meals at home is too expensive. So there you go.
I mean, this could have been an absolute disaster, couldn't it?
Oh, there is our klaxon. Chris has McCauslanded. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Ray Bradshaw and Tiffany Stevenson. And commiserations to Marilyn Robertson and Robin Innes. Now, before we go this week, I just want to take a moment to talk about a legend of the show that we lost last week. A dear friend of ours, Janie Godley, sadly died at the age of 63. She wasn't just a friend of the show, she was a friend of mine. She was a friend of pretty much everyone in Scottish comedy. She's going to be sorely missed, and I think it's only fitting that we do the right thing and leave the last word of the show to Janie Godley. If you could influence anything, what would it be and why?
Oh, I would influence the next lingerie competition model, and I had to do it, but in my big pants and my jumper. Just imagine that, you know, the women all come out dressed as glittery butterflies, and they're all like, do, 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 do. And it's just me with my, you know, with my hoose bra. Women know what I'm talking about. Women know. You don't know, Des. Women have a hoose bra, and it's the bra that doesn't jaggy, and then you wear that, and then my big pants, my slippers on, my good house coat, and just wander on like that. There's at least 2 men in the audience right now hot for that.
You can catch Michelle's Entertainment Mix, which is exactly that, thrilling and entertaining, on the BBC iPlayer by pressing red now.
Oh, sorry.
Are you serious?
You got jokes, yeah?
Everybody happy?
Yes.
It's exactly the effect I wanted and more.
Comedy to lift your mood on BBC iPlayer.
Brand new comedy.
I checked the order. I think they forgot to put in your slow-cooked barbecue spare ribs.
Full of the banter. And bursting with laughter.
Now play the bagpipes. I know what'll make this better. Twinkly lights.
Twinkly lights.
Twinkly lights!
Stevens and McCarthy. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Friday night on BBC Scotland, completed. Join us over the weekend for more. If you're free, we'll be live again tomorrow from 7. Bye-bye for now.
I laughed at all his words. I thought he was a bitter man. He spoke of women's ways. The trap you The dressing